Oh, wait. Explain the NR to me again. Which one is no? Which one is yes?
Oh, Doug
Eh.
Lowe's got it. It's always
That's
music.
what makes it great, Gelbs. We don't know.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a living room edition of Baseball Night in New York. It's brought to you by your tri-state Cadillac dealers. Doug Williams alongside Steve Gelbs, Anthony Recker, and Todd Zeile. If it looks like Todd Zeile is at the driver's seat, we'll get to that.
Indeed.
So want to start with some news that broke yesterday, guys, about the Boston Red Sox. Now, the Astros punishment was severe, but some thought it was more severe. There was a lot of outrage about it. And then the season got postponed, and it's kind of gone from the forefront to the back seat. The Red Sox punishment breaks yesterday, and really the highlight is that it's not much. Major League Baseball knew what they were doing, which was finding ways to cheat with runners on, as opposed to what the Astros were doing, which was we can get the signs no matter what through cameras and computers and laptops, etc. But Major League Baseball here is saying, and Todd, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you think that this punishment maybe says more than this. What they're saying is the cheating of having a runner on and relaying signs back to the batter, even if it's slightly more complex than it used to be, that is still predominantly okay in our game.
I think that is predominantly okay, and I think the predominantly is the key word here because it depends, obviously. The emphasis was on how they were figuring out how to then give the players the ability to pick the signs from second base, because at the end of the day, there was a little bit of gamesmanship still involved because somebody at second base had to know the sequence, which was obviously what the cheating part of it, the aspect of it, it was involved. But then you still have to be able to follow the sequence of the catcher, know how to relay something to the hitter at the plate. And it's a bit different. I don't know that it completely exonerates them, because there still is that use of technology that had been already previously said to not be allowed anymore. So it doesn't exonerate them, but I think in this particular context, the punishment sort of fit the crime. I think they're saying that there's still some gamesmanship involved. It's not like banging on a trash can every time you have a pitch from the tunnel.
Right. So, it wasn't like Major League Baseball came out and said, no punishment. There was no crime here. They did ban replay operator J.T. Watkins. They lost a 2020 second-round pick. And Alex Cora is banned through the 20 playoffs. Alex Cora may be the most fascinating part of this. Our colleague Andy Martino wrote yesterday just about how hireable he will be, even for the Red Sox after this season, just because of how good a manager he is, clearly. But Steve, don't you remember months ago when Alex Cora was viewed just like Carlos Beltran as being one of the head honchos of the operation in Houston? And it was almost like, forget about what he did with the Red Sox. This guy is tarnished due to what he did in Houston. Does that somehow go away now because of Major League Baseball their findings about the Red Sox?
Not to me, it doesn't. Listen, Andy might be right, but I don't really see it, especially not in the immediate future, not next season, as some have suggested. This is not a guy who was just a small part of the Astros sign stealing scandal. He is someone who, for all intents and purposes, ran it. And so if you're going to tell me that just because Alex Cora could not be proven by Major League Baseball to have done the same thing with the Red Sox, that all of a sudden, now he's hireable again, then Carlos Beltran is hireable again next season, and A.J. Hinch is hireable again next season. I don't think that's the case. There are 30 of these jobs. I don't know why you need the baggage, because there are plenty of candidates that can be can be prospective managers and do just fine. So for me, just because MLB couldn't prove anything with Alex Cora with the Red Sox, and that's the key, couldn't prove anything, I don't see how that all of a sudden now makes him so hireable in the immediate future.
Yeah, I love what you're saying there, Steve, and I completely agree. I mean, there's no reason to think that Alex might not get a managerial job somewhere in the future, but to go ahead and just give him his job back in Red Sox Nation literally next year, which is what some people have suggested could happen because of this, I just don't see that happening, and I really hope that isn't the case. I'm not saying this guy should get kicked to the curb and never get a job again, but to me, he's got to prove himself again. He's got to go back start, maybe not at the bottom, but he's got to start somewhere and work his way back up and earn the trust back of organizations because he wasn't just running it, he was pushing it. He was setting up the operator in Houston. He was doing this behind AJ Hinch's back, according to every report I've read, and pushing this and saying, well, no, don't listen to the manager. Do what I'm saying because I'm the bench coach and Carlos Beltran is the veteran on the team and we're going to get this done. That, to me, that's almost worse to me. It really is hard for me to understand how you could say, like, maybe there was no evidence that he had any part of it in Red Sox Nation. Great. But it still means he played a huge role in what happened in Houston. And that, to me, equals no managerial job for at least a little while. Let's give this guy a little punishment because there might not even be a season this year.
Yeah, I like that perspective, and I like the idea of him having to work his way back up the totem pole, potentially as a bench coach, then as a manager. Okay, time for now, I believe this is Steve Gelbs' first time playing this, so we're going to begin with him. Now, Steve, I would explain the rules. That would be kind of purposeless considering every question and the wording of it is different, and you may very well get confused, and I won't have an explanation for you. Pete Alonso will win a Gold Glove in his career.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think that he will. And you want to know why I think that he will? Because he says that he will. Because he says that's his goal. Listen, I was as skeptical as anyone about Pete Alonso and his defensive prowess before he came into last season. Seeing him now on a day in, day out basis, speaking with people around him, this guy works harder than anyone. If that's a goal he's setting for himself, I don't see any reason why he can't reach it.
Okay, Anthony Recker, Amed Rosario will be the next Met to make his first All-Star game.
This is a tough one for me. I'm going to go somewhere in between and go, but I'm going to lean towards and only because...
Is that a longer
It's somewhere. It's towards
that totally clarified it.
We got it, guys.
I get the game now.
You get it, yeah. Look, it's just tough because there's not going to be an All-Star game this year. So you're talking about pushing it back till next year. So there's going to be Mets that maybe come up, maybe have an impact, maybe have an opportunity to make an All-Star game. So it's tough for me to say that he's going to be the next one. Could he be the next star? Yes. Could he make the All-Star game next year? Absolutely. But I don't know necessarily that he's going to be the next.
Todd, we will see another 300-game winner.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's a emphasis on wins anymore, and I think that is just that's just gone by the wayside.
Todd, we'll come back to you for our final Gelbs should keep growing out his hair.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking that Gelbs look. He likes to change his. He likes to change his.
Oh my
looks
goodness!
a little bit various.
Are you watching what's happening?
Oh yeah. No, he's mad Gelbs now. He's mad Gelbs. You know what? I always thought that Gelbs was a little bit more vain, but I love to see him in this light.
No, I'm very vain. I'm very vain.
Okay, so time now for Out of Left Field. I teased this at the beginning, but. We want to show you exactly where Todd is, and we're going to kind of diagram for you where he started and where he's going to end up here. So you're seeing him basically going from out west to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And Todd, this is your route that we're watching that you're eventually going to take?
Yeah, that's the designed route. Sometimes best laid plans, just go by the wayside. But at least to follow where we are starting, I did go to Tuscaloosa. Outside here, if you can see, is the beautiful Bryant-Denny Stadium, getting some rehab here. University of Alabama football, very popular down here. And hopefully, if the clouds don't turn into a Kansas type of Toto Wizard of Oz storm, I can get on the road and start heading north here sometime later tonight.
Okay, so you were out west. You flew back east. Now you're going to make your way back out west.
Exactly. Yeah, we are moving Kenzie back to California, and we're doing it in an RV.
All right, everybody. So if you're watching this digitally, you got to tune in at 11 on SNY to watch the rest. If you're watching at 11, we'll be back after a short break.